I put it up there with 1A. I say the victory in Chicago in January, that was probably their most impressive win. Derrick Rose was on the court and everything. The fact that they played it at home, I'll give them 1B with the Oklahoma City game because it was a home game. But they went on the road and beat a legitimate title-contending team in the Bulls in the United Center. I think that would probably rank as the best victory they've had this season.
Let's take a look at the Eastern Conference standings. Pacers currently in 3rd in the East. How much do you think this will change, Mike, as we get to the end of the regular season?
You know what, 3 through 7, actually 3 through 8 right now, I think is really a crapshoot. I don't think the Pacers are going to drop that low. I think when it's all said and done, the Pacers will finish between 3 and 5. I would probably have to take a guess on. Actually, excuse me, 3 and 6 because of the way they do the standings now with the more divisions. But between 3 and 6, I'm going to give them the edge because of their schedule. I'm going to say they're going to hold off Atlanta and get that 3 seed and have home court in their first round matchup. I just think they don't want to play Orlando though. I know Orlando's it's Disney World down there with the Dwight Howard situation and everything, but still when you got Dwight Howard on the court and those shooters, you want to try to avoid the Magic in the first round. I think their best chance of getting out is going to be against Philadelphia. I know Boston beat them last night, but I still give the Pacers the edge if they play the Celtics in the first round.
All the knowledge from Mike Wells, the Indianapolis Star. Mike, thanks again for swinging by.
No problem.
He's going to be a busy man as the season winds down. So many great moments for Pacer now, Reggie Miller in the Hall of Fame. This is his moment. So much to talk about with this guy. Playoff performances like this earned Reggie a place in basketball immortality. 8 points in 8.9 seconds against the Knicks.
I hate that guy.
Well, Frazier might hate Reggie, but he also respects him. The Knicks broadcaster gives us a New York perspective on Reggie. Gary Harris had a few moments of his own. Now the HSC Star is honored as the best in Indiana. We talk one-on-one with Mr. Basketball later on the Jam.
You're watching the Eyewitness Sports Jam.
Welcome back. With big shots at big moments, Reggie Miller shot his way into the hearts of basketball fans in Indiana and beyond. That legacy is cemented with his election into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Harper's on Miller. McKee gets it in the Miller for the win.
Once feared for beating the clock, now Reggie Miller's time has come. Miller is going into the Basketball Hall of Fame, his legendary career confirmed by voters on Monday.
Look, it's a humbling experience, obviously. You look at all the men and women that are on this dais and the ones that are out there watching us and the ones that are at home. To be a part of this exclusive club, it's pretty special.
First eligible last year, Miller had to wait. But what's a year for basketball immortality? His stroke, his spins, those stare-downs with Spike, all to Springfield in September. And though Reggie was never second billing in his time in blue and gold, he is actually the second Pacer heading to the Hall of Fame this year, behind ABA star Mel Daniels.
You know, I'm honored because I'm the second Indiana Pacer to go in behind number 1, a guy who's an idol of mine for 18 years with the Indiana Pacers, Mel Daniels, so it's special for me.
Miller scores more than 25,000 points in his Pacer career, none more memorable than those 8 points in 8.9 seconds in New York. He brought the Pacers to the NBA Finals, wore his Hoosier heart on his sleeve, and now he joins Cheryl Miller as the first brother-sister combo in the Hall of Fame.
She was a role model. She is a role model. She set the bar high for the Miller family, and I'm just glad I'm still on her coattails, dragging all the way to Springfield.
The Pacers select Reggie Miller.
From the beginning to the end of his career, Miller embraces Indiana like family.
I've truly been blessed to be a Pacer and a Hoosier.
Reggie was always a threat from 3. But any Hoosier will tell you his status as a Hall of Famer was never a long shot.
Larry Bird has seen Reggie's work behind the scenes without the crowds and the pressure. The Pacers president finally remembers Miller's Hall of Fame work ethic.
Reggie tended to stay after practice, do a lot of shooting, and when I was here, we had all 13 guys out there after practice for at least an hour. So it carried over. He really wasn't a vocal leader per se, but he put the work in and the time, and he was here for a long time. He did a lot of things in our community, and I think the Hoosiers really appreciate it.
Well, Miller used those practice sessions to torture the likes of the New York Knicks. Knicks great Walt Frazier never played against Reggie, but he called many of those Madison Square Garden moments. Frazier is the TV analyst for the Knicks in New York. This week I asked him for his memories of Miller from the New York side.
I hate that guy. Hey, man, I hated him when he played with the Pacers, but you admired him for his exploits, especially against the Knicks. I mean, I can still recall the game in New York, so many seconds the guy erupted to beat us. And those games against the Pacers, actually I was doing radio when I first got into the game. It was such a revelation and a joy to do those games and to really watch Reggie to do his thing, man. One of the more prolific scorers the game has ever seen, especially with the three ball.
You called some of those exploits in New York in the playoffs. So the 25-point quarter, the 8 points in 9 seconds or so. What was New York like? What was it like coming out of your mouth when he was doing those things in Madison Square Garden?
I actually didn't say anything. Mike was calling. I was mesmerized. I remember Mike saying, well, there's still time before we could get that out. The pass was gone. Reggie made a three, another turnover. Oh, man, I couldn't believe it. I mean, all of New York couldn't believe it. That's why Reggie's so revered there, because he really tantalized us.
And I think that's an important point to make. As much as they rooted against him, Reggie's got respect in the city of New York, doesn't he?
Yeah, New Yorkers love athletes that perform. And he came in the world's largest stage. When everything was on the line, he and Spike Lee going at it, and Reggie was able to deliver. So I'm sure that helped catapult him into the Hall of Fame.
Mel Daniels, the other name going into the Hall of Fame. Did you ever have a chance to play against Mel, to rub elbows with Mel on the floor?
Unfortunately, I've had him shake my hand. You ever had him shake your hand?
It's a memorable experience.
Yeah, my hand was dead for 10 minutes, man. But I also played here with the NBA, ABA. We came to Indianapolis and played them. We got away with a 1-point win. At that point, I really had a lot of respect for the ABA. Because when we went NBA, we didn't respect them because the score was 139 to 143. So we knew they didn't play defense. But once we had an opportunity to play against them, we gained a big measure of respect. And Indiana, of course, is one of the better teams.
Why is it so important for ABA legends to be represented in the Basketball Hall of Fame, especially a guy like Mel, who was a 2-time MVP and who won championships?
Because they changed the game. They made the NBA because Dr. J, the Iceman, all these different guys, Artis Gilmore came from the ABA into the NBA, and they brought their style and following to the game.
Yeah, Mel Daniels was honored in New Orleans on the same day that Reggie Miller was. There's Mel getting a Hall of Fame jersey. We knew he was going into the Hall last month. Led the Pacers to 3 ABA championships, was the league's most valuable player in 1969 and 1971.
I started playing basketball 51 years ago. I was made to play basketball 51 years ago, and to get to this point in my life, it's unbelievable. And what makes it special is that Reggie Miller and I play for the same team, and that makes it doubly special.
Yeah, September 7th, it'll be a Friday night. The 2012 Basketball Hall of Fame enshrinement ceremony takes place in Springfield, Massachusetts. That is when Reggie Miller and Mel Daniels will be officially introduced as NBA Hall of Famers. One of the biggest honors in high school sports goes to an HSE star.
It feels great right now. #1 jersey. This is one of my goals probably since my freshman year in high school.
Meet Mr. Basketball, Gary Harris, who's always risen above. It was a great run to the Sweet 16, but are the Hoosiers really ready to be the #1 team in the nation? Some experts say yes. And a change of outfits for Olympic volleyball, will it change your viewing habits? Next.